This is the first thing that I might have called a complete level in Beldevere. So if I hit go, it moves around. Now it still works with this stick because it's built into that. It's just built into Unity as reading from axes. But note how, like, it's pretty good, but I kept getting stuck on corners and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to turn, it won't turn. It could still be really neat. And I may still incorporate Square into it, Square level design like this. But it was kind of slow and frustrating to me, so I didn't really like it. So that's when I switched and went to the next step. Oh, and that was on August 21st that I got into that state. And the initial commit for this was after a few failed attempts at trying to get anything like Pac-Man working on. That was on the 13th. That was the initial commit. And 10 days later, I ended up with this. Now, I called it Release 1.0, but it's not Release 1.0 with Beldevere. But I've got enemies doing something, sort of following the player. And I'm picking up dots, and I'm bouncing all over the landscape like that, and warping, and starting over when the player hits me. There's no score, but there is a pickup count down at the bottom. And it will go to the next level when you pick up all the dots. By that point, I had 4 levels. By this point, which is 6 days later, it's the 29th, I had 7 levels. And this one you can see I've got something attached to Beldevere's face. And this one's a pretty sprawling level with warps up to an upper level, which you can jump off of, and then even a drawbridge thing over here, which lowers as you pick up dots. You can see that because if I go to ramp, okay, wait, what just happened? So now if you watch up here, you can see the ramp going down a little bit every time I get a dot. And there's a gravity collector that pulls the dots into you, and apparently I've got a nose-based ghost destruction feature. And still don't have a score, but that's coming soon. And let's see if I can make the jump right now. Let's find out. Yeah. There's another level down here. And there was a bug. You can go right back up that way, because there's a static mesh there. Invisible. So then the next step, I made more progress, of course. Now in this scene, which is in this game, which is just a few days later, let me find out exactly when. No, I jumped ahead 2 weeks, so this is 2 weeks later. This is on September 17th. Is that right? Yes. So obviously it's got a title screen now. It's got a score, a high score. This is level 9. The ghosts are much more active and interesting. Speed's faster. There's a little radar and live thing attached to Pac-Man, and there's a high score list here. And if I'd gotten a high score, it would show up in this list right here as a little bit bigger. And then finally, my latest version has much better graphics and fonts. You can see that. There's also these spinny little score pop-ups here that animate themselves. There's this animated warp zone, There's power pellets. I think the last version had power pellets as well. You can squash the ghosts. I didn't show that earlier. That was in the last version or two ago as well. There's a grace period after the ghosts are smashed so that it's not instant death. And then, let's see, I didn't get high score. But once again, it would show up larger here. And that's where I am today. This is September 22nd. So things are moving pretty fast, and I've got a lot in store coming soon.